Seattle City Light is proud to support Climate of Change. Without question, energy reduction on campus is of the highest priority. That's one reason the UW signed on to be part of a broad federal smart grid project that will hopefully give power providers new ideas on how to use modern technology to lower our carbon footprint.
So this is an example of a smart meter, and we've installed these throughout the entire campus in every significant building.
John Chapman, Executive Director of Campus Engineering and Operations and Facility Services, says a simple-looking meter like this, placed in the right spot, can help the UW become more energy efficient.
And what the smart meter does is it collects data in near real time. Your utility meter at home, they usually only read that once a month, so you know what happened during that month. But we know what's happening every 5 minutes. And so we can almost in real time envision what the electrical consumption patterns are in the building.
How can that data help the UW save money?
We're using that information to go in and reset the operational schedules and parameters for the building. You know, there's times a day when maybe we don't need to run the ventilation system at such a high rate or with such a high temperature setting. So we're just now working with these systems to see what kind of energy gains we can have through this smart grid technology.
The smart meters are just one tool being used in a massive $178 million smart grid demonstration project, sponsored in part with federal stimulus money. It's a partnership between government agencies, researchers, private companies, and 11 utilities in 5 western states. The University of Washington contributed $5 million to the partnership. The Smart Grid project will collect data about energy use and give the UW and other consumers more information about how they're using power.
A smart grid allows us to understand what's happening to that electricity when it's coming. You know, how much is being used, where is it being used, what time of day is it being used. And by having that additional information, we're able to make decisions and come up with ideas on saving energy.
The notion of saving energy is nothing new to the UW.
We've done a number of measures over the years to reduce energy conservation on campus. We started in the mid-90s. We had a very notable project then when we went through and re-lamped the entire campus using higher efficiency fluorescent lights with electronic ballasts.
Chapman says if you go back to 1995, when the UW became really serious about energy conservation, the cumulative savings are staggering.
The cumulative amount that we haven't spent because of that is around $75 million. So these savings are significant.
$75 million in savings. It's all promising news to students living in residence halls who are learning about the UW's smart grid.
This is my Energy Hub device. It's a device that it helps let me control some of the appliances that are in my room.
Simone Schaefer is the 4th floor resident advisor in the newly constructed Elm Hall. To her, being a part of the smart grid means using a handheld wireless device like this that gives her the ability to turn on or off a bank of energy-guzzling appliances in her room with the touch of a button.
This one right now is connected down here to an energy strip, which controls both of my monitors that are on my screen, and then my speakers and my printer, just kind of in one place. And so this lets me turn each of those appliances on and off at free will.
Simone has the system programmed to come on at 7 a.m. when she wakes up. She'll turn everything off when she leaves for class. When she returns to her room at 3:30, the system has been programmed to come back on its own.
It's energy saving with no loss of convenience.
Appliances that are left plugged into an outlet continue to draw energy even when they're turned off.
But it's still using a whole bunch of energy that I didn't realize it was using before. But this actually turns the whole power off, and so no energy is used at all. So that's great.
To make Elm Hall as efficient as possible, around 200 students are now using the energy monitoring devices. It's not the only way students are being asked to screen their use of resources. In all new residence halls, electronic dashboards, essentially giant TV monitors, have been placed in hallways to give students an idea of how much water, gas, or electricity they are using compared to other students.
We can identify simultaneously, if we see huge spikes in these things, we can also go look for problems. Why are these things happening like this?
J.R. Fulton, Capital Planning and Sustainability Manager for Housing and Food Services, says the dashboards relay a lot of information that'll be useful to students.
So there's a whole series of features on here. We'll take a quick look at the electricity, and this is going to identify the electricity today, so you can see how the students are using it.
The idea is to get students to pay attention to their energy consumption on a regular basis. If they can see their daily progress, the hope is that it will eventually convince them to consume less water and power.
We can look at it over time. We can potentially compare buildings. In the future, we actually plan to be able to compare floors on this so that we can see how energy use is.